And all the brothers and sisters said, "Amen."
I love that you think we're going to punch him in the mouth.
Fingers crossed, right?
And I ain't butt
Come on,
chugging
fellas,
anything.
we got to do some content here.
In the Venn diagram of fucked up, I'm not sure where that fits, but I'm pretty sure I hit the nail right on the head there.
Works well under close Nick Saban adult supervision.
Randy Sanders has the team dialed in. They are ready to go.
How many bananas do you want out of me?
Don't know. I kind of want to give Vanderbilt some love here.
I love those head games at the two.
You got to weigh all your options.
It's so much fun.
Nobody wants to go Lane Kiffin here? I might go Lane Kiffin here.
Welcome back to a new episode of Liquor and Leagues. Happy to have everybody here. Going to discuss the week that was, the week that is, and then we'll touch on the week that will be way down the road when Florida actually wins a game. But before we waste any more time, gentlemen, how are you doing?
Hey-oh.
Exactly. That's how he comes to the table. His team did
Always.
well.
That's what
Oh,
happens
man.
when your team wins.
When your team wins, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That's a pretty
glad you
mouth
all
you
are
got
here.
there, boy.
All right. We don't want to waste any time. Let's jump right into it. The week that was a slate of 8 games. We made our picks last week. Pretty much all of our picks were fairly similar. Sans 2, Auburn, LSU. You all went Auburn. I went LSU. Vanderbilt, UConn. We all went Vanderbilt. Mac decided to go UConn. So
It was close.
It was close.
Holy
Made
shit,
me
it was
nervous.
close.
But, coming off a week that was the week prior, Grinch, you and I had stellar, complete across the board wins. This week, unfortunately,
We had to recalibrate.
we took a beating. Games did not fall out the way we expected, kind of across the board. But real quick, I just wanted to touch on a few games. Obviously, the pinnacle game of the weekend, number 2 versus number 8, Georgia, Arkansas. Did not see this absolute bludgeoning coming. I thought Arkansas would at least be competitive on some level, but you guys, now I will say this, in the weeks prior, you guys have been dominant offensively, putting up a shit ton of points. You didn't do that with Arkansas, but what you did do was your defense showed up in spades and you shut them the fuck down. Something no other team this season has been able to do. They have not been shut out, but you managed to just really lay it on Sam Pittman and his team, and they didn't score fucking not 1 point, not even getting in field goal range. So that is definitely something to be said for your dogs.
They missed one field goal. Oh,
well, then I missed that, and I apologize.
Yeah, they did miss one field goal.
I don't know what you say about this game. In my opinion, Georgia is number 1. I know Alabama took on Ole Miss and they won, but in my opinion, Georgia is the number 1 team in the country right now. And I hate saying that as a Florida Gator fan, but it's the legit truth.
I think they had 4 or 5 first place votes last week. They have 9 this week.
Yeah, no, we'll see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, of note, of course, is Stetson Bennett had to start.
Well, that's the question I wanted to ask. Why?
Yeah, JT Daniels is dealing with a lat issue, which I don't know shit about throwing. Obviously, I've never been a quarterback, but from what I understand, a commentator was using Dak Prescott as the corollary to explain, like, when muscles start compensating for how you throw,
then your throw is not
it can
accurate.
cause issues.
Right.
Yeah, and so in warm up, that was the decision time, and they actually caught footage of him warming up, and you could see him wincing.
Okay.
And so it was literally during warm-ups they made the call. And the thing is, if you look at the stats, Stetson Bennett was 7 for 11.
76 yards.
11 passes the entire game,
Which is the point Mac made to me this
morning.
Yeah, we talked about that. They just went old school SEC football. I'm going to smash it down your goddamn throat until you can stop me.
And Arkansas couldn't.
And they still couldn't.
No.
They couldn't. And I know, Arkansas runs a really interesting defense because they do like a 3-3-5 stack.
I thought it was the Olay defense because that's the way they seemed to play yesterday.
You're right.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Right through,
273 yards rushing. That O-line asserted itself. Yeah, I mean,
as usual,
I don't want to believe my own hype train in the sense that, like, there's a danger there, right?
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself, right?
Nick Saban rat poison. This defense is special. It flat out got after Arkansas, and it's funny. I actually stumbled on an Arkansas article from the day prior to the game that's like, "Can we start talking about KJ Jefferson for Heisman?" And I was like,
Got ahead of
he
yourself.
Was 8 for 13 for 65 yards.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention this in the last podcast, but when we were dissecting Arkansas, one of the things I noticed is when Hornsby came in there towards the end, Hornsby has one read, and if it isn't there, you see his eyes go down, and he just starts
running. Right. He has no.
He's running.
No
he's committed to the
it.
run because he believes in the athleticism that got him through high school.
Right.
That needs to be coached out of him because he does not keep his eyes upfield.
Like
Emory Jones is an example. There's similar quarterbacks, but Emory keeps his eyes up.
Right.
And I realize we're going to get
and somehow manages to find players from the opposing team to throw the ball to.
But
I think he only did that once, right? One interception.
Flat out, it was a dominating game.
Yes, it was in all facets. Special teams
a team
fucking showed
that
up.
Thought they could come in and be physical, and they just got whipped from one end to the other. All facets of the game. Yep. And so dominating victory for sure.
Okay. And as you mentioned, they did it with their backup quarterback who threw 11 passes.
Yep.
That's scary to me as to how good they can actually be.
I mean, it's there's a difference when you say, you know what I'm going to do, I know what I'm going to do, and I'm still able to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what happened.
All right. So that was obviously the big game of the weekend, number 2 versus number 8. We saw how that came out. Alabama, Ole Miss, not going to really talk about this when Alabama wins. There's only one stat that matters here, and that's Nick Saban's 24-0 against prior coaching staff. Nobody's been able to beat him that has been coach under him, which
Kirby
is
I was going to say Kirby is a Saban disciple, right?
Yes,
so that's going to come to a head and will be very interesting probably in Atlanta.
Will the Saban curse continue to hold true for his coaches?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the only stat I'll talk about with that game is Ole Miss had gone for it on 4th down some insane amount of time going back a year.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard the stats, I was like, holy fuck, I didn't realize they'd gone for it that many times. And they got stopped.
That's the lane
first
train.
2 or 3 4th down attempts.
Yeah. He's trying to be the Mad Hatter.
Completely flipped the game.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't matter because even the points that Ole Miss scored, they scored them in, cleanup time. I mean, that game was not as close as the score, would indicate.
Yeah, I agree.
The other one then said, thank you for the 4th down reference, because the one game I'd like to talk about was Auburn LSU. Bo Nix, not once, but twice on 4th down, scrambles wildly. On one of those, he throws a touchdown. On the other one, he throws a 1st down pass. Now, what the fuck was this guy doing?
Wasn't that like a 23-yard touchdown too? Holy
I mean, he clearly ate his fucking Wheaties that morning.
Running the play as it was designed to be run.
Fuck you.
Well, here's what I was going to say. So I'm eating humble pie, a lot of it. Roy Kent would be chewing my ass up one side and down the other because he's like, you're not in the locker room and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'd be like, Roy,
you're right.
I deserve every bit of this.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know what they whispered in Bo's ear that morning if he ate his Wheaties, but that dude played lights out. Now we were all talking a week ago.
Factor,
yeah,
absolutely. And we thought he shouldn't play.
Right. We did a week ago.
I'll own it. I did.
I did, but lucky for you, I changed your pick to LSU.
I was wondering.
So you're good. Don't worry about it.
That was a gentleman's agreement.
That was. I did change your pick. You asked. I was gracious. So unfortunately,
I was like, I wonder if he thinks I'm serious. I've been drinking.
So unfortunately, the week didn't pan out as well for you as you might have liked. No, absolutely played lights out. But here's the thing that's scary with Bo is people go, holy shit, he's the guy. And the next week he's going to shit the bed.
I was going to say, right. That's all against LSU. What's going to happen next week when they play against, somebody that actually can play a game consistently.
Oh, you mean Georgia, which is who they have next week.
Exactly.
I mean, literally, you gave me when you sent that text when he threw that fucking 4th down touchdown, and then immediately I was like, again on the next 4th down, I'm like, this motherfucker got out of it again.
It's funny. I fell asleep before the end of the game, but I was just like, fucking fucking fuck. What?
Yeah, it was definitely
the quintessential wordsmith.
I felt like he heard what I said and took it personally.
Like the Bo show was no joke in that game last night. Kudos to him. Now we'll see what happens rolling down the stretch if he is inconsistent as he is known to be. But he was there last night and he pulled it out.
Trademark pending there for Bo show.
Bo show. That's ours. I said it right.
That's ours.
Let's go ahead and get to the next game. I don't even how we talk about this. Florida, Kentucky.
Were we talking I was going to say Vanderbilt, UConn.
No, Florida, Kentucky. Real quick, just like 2 quick seconds. It was very disappointing. What did we say? It's been 34 years.
1986 was the last time Kentucky beat Florida on.
Don't say it. Just at home.
Scary Kroger Field.
Fucking Kroger Field. Yeah, and of course they bum rushed the field last night. They emptied the stadium onto the field.
They all get COVID.
Look,
that was a little extreme, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Kentucky is not Georgia dominant, but Mac, as you said this morning when you and I talked, they are clearly coming into their own. I mean, it's been a number of years, but they are finding Mark Stoops.
Stoops has them headed in the right direction.
Right.
They've the last few times, even in the swamp, they've played Florida. It's been a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
Stoops is frequently referred to as a coach that the administration backed because he had his own method of how to build the team.
Right.
And it's not that he's doing anything tremendously unique or different, but they trusted in how he was going to build the team.
They gave him time to do it.
What I will say, and I think I texted this either just to you, Thor, or to the group, I saw very similar play schemes that worked against Alabama.
Yeah.
That were unchanged going against Kentucky. I don't know if they just underestimated Kentucky's capability, but there were a couple plays I was like, that is literally the identical play that was run against Alabama.
Right.
And one in particular comes to mind where like Emory is like running and it's like an option. It's an option, but like the option's like right next to him. And he's either supposed to hand it off or like duck and pass out to the right. And the two of them are so close together that
anybody that breaks through
just hit the two of them at the same time.
The play's busted.
And I'm like, I know it worked on Alabama. I saw that play work on Alabama. But man,
Kentucky watched film.
Yeah, I know Mullen said like in an interview afterward, like he didn't get out coached. I don't know what preceded that. That was literally
if you
the
lose,
headline.
you got out coached.
Yeah,
but honestly, I don't think the game plan was right for Kentucky.
Mac, I will let you address what our biggest flaw was for Florida last night because you mentioned it this morning.
What, the fact that we have 8 chances to get a first down / touchdown and we can't put the fucking ball in from the 5-yard line?
Self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, I mean there were 8 penalties. Well, there were more than that, I think, but there were 8 penalties that were false start penalties. And as we talked about, Kroger Field is not fucking Death Valley. It's not the swamp. It's not, I mean, it was loud. I have no doubt about that, but it is not built and designed to funnel all of that in like some of these other stadiums are. So to have that many false start penalties is just, I mean, you said it, it's self-inflicted wounds. And I don't care if you're playing Vanderbilt, if you have that many problems, they're going to have a pretty good chance to win.
Right.
So it boggles my mind. And that's not the first time. I mean, they've been, it'll be interesting to see when the season's over, if they don't get this cleaned up, how they fall out as far as penalties, because they've had a lot of them so far this year and they need to get that cleaned up, I think, from the Florida side of the ball.
I'll tell you what's crazy is if you didn't know the outcome of the game, Will Levis is 7 for 17 for 87 yards. Kentucky had 30 carries for 137 yards.
That sounds like Georgia's scoreline.
That's not a lot of yardage.
Over 200 total.
Right. Yeah, and you're going to wait, what?
And then you go into the turnovers. No Florida fumbles. No Kentucky
one interception.
Fumbles.
One interception.
Each had an interception. For 20
Does it
yards
say time of possession for each team?
That's what doesn't make sense to me.
But that's why it came down to the final few plays of the game where Florida just couldn't. I mean, it wasn't like it was a blowout. I mean, it was a 7-point, or 6-point game, right?
Right.
Or 7 point. Yeah, it was a 7 point game because they could have tied.
7 point.
Yeah. As a Florida fan, how have you gone from having, a dominant team last year to having what looks like it's probably going to be a mediocre team this year?
You're 3
and we talked about it, you've completely changed the game plan, right? Because you went from a pass heavy offense last year with Kyle Trask. That's what you had, to basically just flipping the stats to running this year.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's really changed. I mean, you're still getting the same amount of yards, it seems like, per game, just a different way.
Right.
And it's not being as effective.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I mean, the Alabama loss is the Alabama loss. They played them very tough. They didn't lose by much. They were expected to lose that game. This game, having watched that, I feel like they should have shown up and played a lot better, and they didn't do it. Grinch, to your point, that a lot of that has to fall on the coaches getting the kids prepared to play.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they were prepared to play.
No, I agree. I agree. I mean, I truly think because they played Alabama so competitively, that's what they thought would transcend to the next game.
It didn't.
Because like I said, you look at the stats, it makes no sense.
Right.
The game result makes no sense from a pure box score perspective.
And yet here we are.
Yeah. And yet here we are. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, transitioning to Tennessee, Missouri, like Tennessee just exploded on offense. I can't comprehend that either, but they switched quarterbacks.
Right.
And they came in with a different mentality and it worked.
You basically ran the same 11 guys out there that you played against Alabama. Right. And they played a mediocre game against Kentucky. And like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Kentucky. I think Stoops is building a great program there. They're 5-0. They're headed in the right direction. Are they going to compete with Georgia this year? Absolutely not. But they're not the same team that they were the last few years. So I don't want to say it's the old adage of, will Florida beat themselves? No, I mean, Kentucky came to play and they won that game. So hats off to them, as tough as it is to say that, but
it is what it is. And I don't want to dwell on the past. That was so yesterday, and I really don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's move on. Haas, you've been awfully quiet. I'd like to bring you into this. South Carolina, Troy, dominating performance, just absolutely dominating by South Carolina over Troy, 23-14. How do you feel about the win, sir?
I mean, I feel like that's typical South Carolina football right there, buddy.
That's it.
They are who we thought they were.
Well, they are. They are who we thought they are.
They played up to the competition.
But at the end of the day, you got to win.
They had a lot of fumble recoveries. Their defense played. I mean, again, it's Troy, right? But their defense looked good. I thought the little bit that I saw.
Listen, right. I've said it before, and I'll say it.
I'm trying to help.
I don't know. I know who South Carolina is this year. If they go 500, I'll be happy. I'm more excited at the fact that I think Shane Beamer is the right guy for the job. I've been nothing.
No, that's it. Yeah.
With him.
To quote Love Island, it's early days, bro. It's early days. You should wait and let's see how this season plays out. Because it's easy to say that now. You're 4 games in, but what happens when the going gets tough?
But they've got their eggs in the right basket, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think okay. To Haas's point, Shane Beamer's the guy. If he's given enough time,
right.
That's always the problem at the college level. If he's given enough time, I think he can get that program, just like Stoops has done, headed in the right direction.
I think he could be the next Dabo Swinney.
Moving on. Okay, so and let's just move on to the final game because I really don't care about talking. I mean, Texas A&M, Miss State, don't care. Good on you, Miss State. Texas A&M's clearly, we said this.
Well,
Texas
here's
A&M's
the funny
not.
Thing.
There's no funny thing. Texas A&M's not the
no,
team
it
we
is.
thought they were.
They're dead last in the SEC West,
as they should be.
They're dead
it's
last.
Fucking pathetic.
Behind Ole Miss. Behind Miss State.
And then finally, Vanderbilt, UConn. Good on you, Vanderbilt. What is that? Your second win of the season? Good on you, man. Good on you, Mac.
Shame on you, Mac.
Win. Shame.
Hey, bro, did I not pick Miss State over A&M?
No, sir.
I thought I picked
I could have sworn I told
A&M
A&M to go fuck themselves.
Questionable shit going on here.
You did. You said A&M, go fuck yourself. I'm going with you again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. All right, so
I think somebody's cooking the books.
That's the week that was. As you can see here, Grinch, Haas, you tied with 5 picks. Mac and I tied with 4 picks. And that leaves us down here at the bottom. Grinch, you are in the lead by yourself with 44. Haas, 43. Mac and I tied for last with 42.
Somebody really just
If
doesn't
you
want
ain't
to bother.
first, you're either second
Yeah,
or tied
second
for
or
last.
tied.
Somebody
That's
does
right.
not want to bother with having to ship that
Butter.
bottle, do they?
Butter.
He's like, I'll just fucking win this shit, and I don't have
That's
to
it.
worry about packaging.
Well,
it.
thankfully, Thor gave me access to the file, so I've been able to
Look.
tweak it.
But what's interesting, if I do change his much
I know.
lauded
I know.
Auburn to LSU, it's a different. We're all suddenly tied.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Grinch, you are going to pick first because you are in the overall lead. Since you're tied with Haas right now in the week, you'll make picks first. Then Haas, you will go, and then Mac, you will go, and then I will go. Or I don't care. I'll go first if you want to go. I'm going to let you go first because you weren't here last week. So I'm going to let you go before me, and I will go dead last, which is where I tend to be. What the fuck, man? I can't seem to stay out of last place.
That's
all right.
I always like it when you're behind me.
That's it. So I'm going to grab this column because I imagine this will probably be easier for you, Grinch, just to start here because I know it's got a number of teams. So let's start with the week that is coming up.
Bama is going to
Alabama versus Texas A&M.
At A&M.
So Alabama, you're going Alabama?
Oh, yes.
Okay. The Bow Show. Georgia is traveling to Auburn.
Monkey stomp Auburn.
Okay,
Monkey
so
stomp.
monkey stomp. I'm not even sure what that is.
Like a
okay.
spider monkey stomp.
Sounds so good.
Spider monkey curb stomp. Yes.
There you go. So Georgia over Auburn. Unless he throws up some of that dynamic fucking running around shit and making it happen on 4th and 3. You don't know, man.
There's no miracle on the plains coming.
Not happening. Okay.
No.
Florida Vanderbilt.
Florida.
Okay. So you think Florida's going to beat Vanderbilt. I appreciate that. Fuck. LSU, Kentucky.
Where is that game?
In Kentucky.
At
Kroger Field.
At the mighty Kroger Field.
I'm going Kentucky.
Going Kentucky. Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you guys see the Kentucky fan base is already like, bring it on, Alabama. We're ready for you.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself.
Everybody that says we want Bama regrets it.
Hey, hold on. Kentucky, you got to remember, you got to get through Georgia still.
Next weekend, you got to get through Georgia.
Before you even get to Alabama.
Yeah.
And that shit's not going to happen, I don't think.
Arkansas, Ole Miss. Ooh, this one's a good one.
That's an interesting one. It really is. That may be the most interesting matchup of this week.
How does Arkansas rebound after getting shut out?
Yeah.
And we know Ole Miss has a prolific offense, or has previously last week.
Yeah.
Alabama.
They ran into a buzzsaw that was just standing there waiting for them. I'm going Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. All right. Missouri and North Texas.
Because that's at Ole Miss, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I see away home. Sorry, you got the shit right there.
Yep.
Missouri. I mean,
Missouri, and
they got steamrolled by Tennessee, but what the fuck?
Yeah, South Carolina, Tennessee to round out the weekend.
Tennessee.
Going Tennessee. I don't think Haas blames you here.
Nope.
All right, so there you go. Your picks are locked in. If Bo Nick, are you sure? The whole Georgia Auburn, you sure, Bo? I mean, come on, man.
If Bo starts, he'll change his pick to Auburn.
I look forward to this ass beating.
I hear you. Let's see how close, if Auburn can even keep it close. I don't think so. All right, Haas, we're moving on to you. Alabama, Texas A&M. Do you want to say fuck Texas A&M? I'm going with you again.
I want to say fuck Texas A&M. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Alabama. Georgia, Auburn.
Georgia.
Florida, Vanderbilt.
Florida.
Kentucky, LSU.
Kentucky.
Ole Miss, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
He did it. All right. Missouri, North Texas.
Missouri.
Tennessee, South Carolina. playing.
Did you just shart?
Tennessee's playing at home, 100,000.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to pack Neyland Stadium.
That's just fucking
good old Rocky Top.
Stop, please stop. Please. I really don't. I really don't want to throw up. Right, exactly. I really don't want to throw up right before bedtime.
The only thing that makes Tennessee worse is when Lane Kiffin was coaching them, but we're beyond that. So, Tennessee, South. What are you debating here? I'm curious to know your thought process.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not debating anything.
Oh, did you say
Tennessee.
you want? Oh, he did. I apologize.
Tennessee.
I missed it.
Oh, I missed that too. Then I'm sorry.
I think it's just it's sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah, his heart wasn't in it. He felt
it's
sad.
really not. That's exactly what it is. Yes, my heart was not in it.
Okay. All right. So we've got you locked in, and we're going to move on to Mac. Alabama, Texas A&M.
Alabama.
Georgia, Auburn.
Georgia.
Florida, Vanderbilt.
Florida.
Kentucky, LSU.
Kentucky.
Arkansas, Ole Miss.
Arkansas. I think
Missouri.
they're going to have something to prove coming out of to that ass whooping by Georgia.
Fair enough. Missouri.
Missouri.
Okay. And Tennessee, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Oh,
I'm going to mix it up a little bit there. I think that they're going to go in to Neyland Stadium and edge out a win.
It's been a very, very long time since that happened.
Well, you know what? It's been a long time since Kentucky beat Florida at Kroger Field, and it happened.
Fair enough.
That's
Fair
right.
enough.
It's been a long time since Mac's been in first.
the upside down.
And you know, at this point, he's just flailing, right? I'm
That's
punching above my weight, trying to see what happens if I can get in the lead.
That's it. So those are your picks. You're good. Okay, me. Alabama over Texas A&M, Georgia over Auburn, Florida over Vanderbilt, Kentucky over LSU. I'm gonna go Ole Miss over Arkansas. Can't believe I'm doing this.
He's on the lane train.
Why are you doing that then? Why are you doing that?
It's Ole Miss, by all accounts, Ole Miss does have a prolific offense. They're playing at home. I mean, they do have a quarterback that can throw the ball. The guy can scramble, he can run. Arkansas, I think they just looked so defeated this last week. And yes,
I feel like you're trying to convince yourself.
No, I'm explaining to you. I'm explaining to you why I'm making my choice. I've already got it. It's already there in black and white. I'm saying, literally. I think Arkansas is coming off a punch in the fucking throat. Do they rebound? Yeah, I think they will. Is it going to be the next week? I don't know. So I think Ole Miss held themselves to better account against Alabama, obviously, than Arkansas did against Georgia.
Well, so if I can offer this too, this is the era of home team advantage if we've ever seen it. Georgia's fans turned out for a noon kick.
Arkansas and I still don't understand. How the hell was that a noon?
How was that not a premier night game? That's what I know.
I know.
But in hindsight, thank God it wasn't, because it was one of the most boring games I've ever seen.
Yeah. I will say the other thing is Arkansas has now, all of their wins, all of their pinnacle wins have technically been home wins. They haven't been on the road. And then they go on the road and lose to Georgia. They're going to be on the road again.
They were not ready for a fan base that loud that wasn't for them.
Right. And that's what I think they're going to face against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going Ole Miss here. So,
okay.
And then Missouri. Yeah, Missouri over North Texas. Look, I'm ignoring that fact. I think he has COVID and he's not going to be on the sideline. That's what I tell myself. Missouri over North Texas, and then Tennessee over South Carolina. I'm sorry, Shane Beamer, but we're going to see what happens. You're going to be playing away. You even said yourself, when was the last time they won in Neyland Stadium? It's been a minute.
Tennessee blows up on Missouri, and all you guys are all of a sudden,
listen,
riding their coattails.
It really wasn't that long ago.
Let's be honest,
because Tennessee's been kind of a hot mess. Tennessee's been a hot mess for many, many years. It really hasn't been that long ago that since South Carolina won in Neyland, but and you're right, Mac. I mean, 62 points, and all of a sudden, we're like bent over, drooling on ourselves, spreading, getting ready for some sweet, sweet lovin's from Tennessee. And I'm not sure that Tennessee's as great as
beautiful visual.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Tennessee's as great as we think they are.
To me, Smokey.
But I will say.
Oh, no. I'm not saying Tennessee's great. I'm just saying they're better in South Carolina. That ain't saying much.
We're immediately going to get some letters from PETA now.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah. They're definitely not a contender, but I think they're better in South Carolina right now. So. That's me.
I don't know. I think South Carolina has a pretty good defense.
I'm just surprised you guys think Ole Miss is going to beat Arkansas.
Look, I have been on the Arkansas train all season. I don't think Ole Miss is going to beat
Arkansas.
I don't want anybody to change their pick, so I'm not going to offer any more than I already have.
Yeah. I have been on the Arkansas train all season. I think they unfortunately
it's derailed.
I don't think it's derailed. I think they took a beating, and now it's going to be how do they rebound? We haven't seen them have to rebound off of something like that yet. If they come back and they curb stomp the shit out of them, then I'll go, yeah, okay. Obviously, Sam Pittman righted the ship this week and got it together, but we haven't seen that yet because they haven't.
Who's
been up
Ole Miss
against
played though? They haven't played anybody. I mean, the only team they played, but they got slacked. They didn't win. They got slacked.
Let's see who they play. Who have they played?
Oh shit! They beat the shit out of Tulane,
Tulane.
61-21.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Stomp the fuck out of them.
right there.
Woo.
And then what do we got here?
Austin, PA.
Austin, PA.
Oh,
And then Louisville.
yeah. So
Hey,
they've
I
had
like
some
it.
competition.
I like it.
Yep.
They're
So
proving themselves.
yes, they have.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that you gave us openings because
But Mac, who has South Carolina played, brother? By that argument.
They played Troy.
Okay, I'm done with you. I'm fucking done. Let's move on.
Hey, no, they played Eastern Carolina.
They did
Again,
play
this is
Carolina,
me
yeah.
being done. Moving on. All right, let's
They played
jump over.
Kentucky.
Let's jump over to our dominant Southern Conference pick, ETSU. For those of you that don't know, that's Eastern Tennessee, and it's Eastern Tennessee State University Buccaneers.
Fighting Bucks.
The fighting Buccaneers. So I'm
Well,
sorry.
we can't shorten it. I'm
Why
sorry.
is Vanderbilt on there?
No. All right. So
Because they shit
Yeah,
stomped
I know.
Vanderbilt.
yeah.
I just wanted to circle back around.
Yeah,
to that.
yeah. I know.
So they're
Which
Wait,
th-
isn't
that-
ETSU in the SEC?
they should be.
they should be.
This
I think they're
point.
getting an invite.
Yeah.
But what
go
does
ahead,
that
Mike.
say about Vanderbilt when ETSU
Hey.
shit stomps them and then just barely beats
All I know
Wofford?
is number 16, Coastal Carolina, is still rolling.
The
Yes,
Chanticleers.
they are.
So we've got Wofford
and that'll get
ETSU.
cut out onto the editing room floor. Don't worry, Grinch.
Yes, it
Come
will.
on.
Yes, it will. Every time you mention it. ETSU took on Wofford. They did play them at home. It was a struggle win, 27-21. They did manage to pull it out in the fourth quarter. The last 2 weeks, ETSU Samford was a struggle win, had to win in overtime, come from behind and take it to overtime and then win. And then obviously the Wofford one, same thing.
Hey, can I point
But
out
it is a win.
really important part there? Yes.
It is a win.
It's a win. I don't give a shit. It's a
no
win.
doubt. That's I'm agreeing with you. What are you arguing about? It is a win. I'm pointing
it's
out
no
the
But you're
facts.
pointing out that
It's
well,
no
they had to
Chanticleer
struggle, they had to
victory,
do this.
but it's still a
No.
victory.
Oh,
Those motherfuckers can just run over some people.
I'm gonna tell you who ran over
That's
somebody
that's
this
a
past
crazy
weekend
chicken.
was Cincinnati, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that was
Let's
good.
move
Let's
on.
do that.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we all chose ETSU this last week, so we all get the win there. Moving on to ETSU takes on the Citadel. ETSU again at home for this week. So Grinch, you pick first. Who would you like?
ETSU. Fuck Citadel. Fuck.
I feel like as a military academy, that's a
No,
little
fuck 'em.
extreme.
Fuck 'em.
That's it. Haas, what about you, brother?
It's ETSU, yeah.
ETSU. And Mac, do I have to ask?
Go Bucks.
All right. And then I will also go Bucks. So again, we are ETSU across the board. All right. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have our picks locked in. We are ready for the week that is as it comes up. It is fast approaching. We are quickly, it sucks to say, but we are rapidly moving through this season of college football. And before we know it, we're going to blink and it's going to be over and we will see where things fall out. As always, gentlemen, I do appreciate you coming in each week, giving me your hot takes, letting me know what you think, making your picks as we chase that dream of one of us earning that 82nd Airborne bottle of bourbon, me. Please go to our webpage, A Spirited Debate. You can check out all of our content there in the vault, Liquor and Leagues, A Spirited Debate. It's all there. Feel free to hit us up anytime, spiriteddebates@gmail.com. Especially if you have commentary about our Liquor and Leagues. I've never really put that out there before, but I'll do it now. If you have something to talk about, maybe you're a Big Ten fan and you want us to hammer on you incessantly, feel free to drop us a line and let us know what you think.
We won't invite you to the show, but
Yeah, that's right.
you know,
I
we'll,
mean,
that's right.
you know,
even
That's
though,
SEC only, but feel free to give us your hot
next
take.
weekend, Penn State and Iowa plays.
There we go. 3 and 4. That'll be the game of the week. So yes, gentlemen, as always, thank you very much. Love you guys, and we will leave it there. And I will talk to you again next week.